Welcome to another episode of the BaseCamp Barn Project. This week, we install our front door. We do a little bit of plumbing. And we spruce up the yard. Once again, we have a lot going on, so come along with us as we get back to work. Well, there's some good news. We just passed our plumbing inspection. Yay! You like the big blocks that we put down at the bottom here? That was one of the rules. You got to have more steel down there. Also the insulation. So it's all good. So next step, we just pulled all of our mini split conduit, the last of it anyway. So that was a kind of a big project. Not really a big one, but finishing a project. So that's the mini split system. We've got one in each bedroom and one in the great room. So those all terminate with a little bit of room to maneuver, I hope. And we could always pull or push a little bit one way or the other if we need to. I wanted to get that done before the electricians showed up, which I just got a phone call from them. Today's Wednesday, they'll be here Friday. I just got back from the hardware store to get a few pieces of more PEX. I still have a little bit of plumbing to do. The mini splits have a drain that needs to go and drain to the outside or into the system somewhere. So these two mini splits I'm going to tie together with a T and some PEX around all these corners and into this cavity, and we're going to dump it straight into the washing machine drain. So that's going to take about 8 or 9 90s. And this one over here in this bedroom, I actually have a hole in the wall that we'll be able to use. I think it's right in here. So we'll get that operational, and then we'll just drain this one out to the outside. Got a big relief about getting our plumbing inspection. That's a kind of a major, so now we can move on. Move on to other things. So what do we have here is a frost-free outdoor spigot. It has the valve here at the end, so that's, you know, when it's inside of the wall, it'll drain all the way out once you turn it off. And this valve here helps it all drain if you still have a pipe hooked up to it or a hose hooked up to it. But today we gotta fit some, or we gotta sweat on an adapter here. So this is my 1/2-inch PEX adapter, and this has a hole in the inside here that this fits into. Just sweat that on. The process is pretty simple. You want to get this with the sandpaper a little bit shiny, just to get whatever goo and corrosion and stuff is on it. So that's kind of shiny and scratched up and ready. And you do the same to the inside of this. Oops, we got to take out the guts. So this has a little keeper here, and then you just unwind it till it pops out. So there's that piece. It has some threads on it, and this is the little valve on the end, and this is the little seal on this end. So we pull it all out so when we get it hot, it doesn't melt anything. And then you got to use some flux. I'll try not to get the flux everywhere. But you basically just put some flux on the surface that you want to solder. And you put a little flux on the other surface here. Make sure it's all covered, just like that. And then you put them in and give it a little twist so that we know it's all covered. And then we'll go heat it up and we'll solder a joint. So here's my little heat up station. I got a torch. We got some solder. And basically you just want to heat up the biggest part first, because that's where you want to try to suck the solder in with. But that's basically how you solder a joint. Not difficult. Now you gotta let it cool. Yesterday, I put in all of our water spigots. Ooh, that was a job, up and down, up and down, up and down. So this here is a double water spigot. That's kind of cool. I kind of like it. So I got a T here. This one's going to the outside. And this one's here on the inside. I got to put a block, we'll block it in to give it some sturdiness before the sheeting or anything goes on. But that's for the RV inside of here, along with our sewer. And then we'll have power coming in somewhere over here for it. So that's kind of cool. But I got a water spigot in that corner for whenever we do a cook. Got a water spigot out on this back wall for the dog yard or the dog run. Got a water spigot on the front wall here for washing cars. And I got a water spigot outside here, this wall, for hosing off the porch, I suppose. So that's six water spigots. Over 140 feet of new tubing. So I got it going up and up and up and up and up. I bought all the white straight pipes that they had. I had to put a couple blue ones in. But I got it going all the way across there, all the way across over there, and all the way across over there. The trick to this deal is, here's our main water in. So the water's coming in from underneath here into the house. And this will be the main valve to turn it on or turn it off. And so it goes and tees off here to the outside water spigots before it goes into my places. This is where my water filters, the house water filters, are going to go. So I don't want to filter this water. I want to filter the stuff that we're using inside the house. But what you end up having to do is you have to put another valve in here. So when you winterize it, you can shut this valve off and turn this valve on, and if you turn on all the outside spigots, it'll siphon all of the water out, because this is higher than the spigots are. And so that's the secret into draining your system. I don't care if a little bit of water gets left in a line, because if it freezes, it has room to expand. It's when it's under pressure and full is when you have the problems. As soon as the dead of winter comes, I'll end up draining the exterior system and not having to worry about it, because it's a kind of a cool way to drain the exterior system. That's been what I've been up to the last couple of days. Work. So again, I mark a couple things off the list. We're going to watch out for some thunderstorms here this afternoon and move on to the next couple things I got on the list. Ooh, we got a thunderstorm on top of us. So this is a very good opportunity to check out leaks and stuff in our roof and wherever. I've always seen a wet spot right here. I thought it was just coming from underneath the door. So there's a seam up there that's leaking on the roof. This last OSB joint. so the overlap mustn't be good. And then back here, I've always seen a puddle, and I finally got it found. So we're dripping square in the middle of this. I don't know if you can see that in the light there, but it's coming out of that seam right there. And then I've seen a drip in here, and we're catching it in this bucket out of another seam right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's wet right here. And then the way this storm is hitting us is kind of like from the south, because the wind is blowing to the north. And I've never seen this area wet, but we're coming in here right on the edge of this door. So that means my seal up at the top, the Nodura weatherproof, isn't stuck, which I know that, and that's why I wanted to do that rest of it once we started putting siding up. But everything else is looking good. I got guys coming in tomorrow to start putting the roof on, so they'll have to fix these roof spots. But it's raining. I haven't seen rain like this here in a long, long time. We need a roof bad, so let's see if we can get started on that project tomorrow. This is a massive front door. It's 42 inches by 96. That's 3.5 feet wide by 8 feet tall. I think it's going to be really heavy. So we're going to at least see if we can get it out of the box today. I don't know that we'll put it up, but that might be the goal, is if we can get it out of the box, then we'll try to put it up. Puppy dog. Puppy will help us put it up. Anyway, here we go. We're going to try to get it out. Alrighty. Put the furniture dolly here.
Yeah, but I need to.
Yeah. Get this.
Like, aren't you going to need to like tip it up here?
No, we're going to just work it onto this furniture dolly as is.
And move it sideways.
And just get it out of this box. Okay, now you go. Okay, you're on.
Okay, it's not that heavy. I mean, it's heavy, but it's not terrible.
We,
424.23. There's writing on it.
we're out of the box.
Yeah. We might be able to do this.
Alrighty, we're prepping the door frame here for a door installation today. Our big front door. We got it out of the box and it's over here on the dolly ready to go. But I had to prep the Nodura foam for sticking up some more Nodura around this door frame. Kind of like I've done with all these windows. So, gotta let it dry. I just was washing it because I figured out that washing off the oxidation is a lot easier than sanding it, and it's a little bit less messy because it stays in the water. So it's a little bit damp, and we'll probably do one more wash here before we put anything sticky on. But I got to do a little bit of prep work down here. I've got some concrete I got to chip off so that it sets flat, and I've washed this because we're going to put some tape layer down there too, and we'll carry on with this here door frame installation, or this door installation. Yeah, the frame's going too. It'll be a frame and a door. Whew, sorry, I'm breathing hard. I've got my zip stretch flashing here in the corner to seal up this bottom corner on both corners here, and then I've used this Fen trim on the bottom, and to finish this corner I used a little, I don't even think it's a quarter round, it's even narrower than a quarter round, and put the Fen trim up the back of it. So this is a sealed surface all the way up to this corner, or this edge, all the way up the wall everywhere. So you put the door in and you glue it down like you always do on this back edge. And then we'll throw in a bead of glue on this edge, and then once the door is in, we'll nail this to the back side of the door. And that'll create a barrier for keeping any water, any bugs, any air from getting in the bottom of the door. We got our front door installed today. And that was more work than I expected, but it is a massive door. Right as we started installing it, the wind picked up naturally and kind of caused us a little bit of a problem because it wanted to keep blowing the door open and we weren't ready to get it fixed. But the hinge mounts are level and parallel level square, so the door opens nicely. I got a good reveal all the way around it. I got to do a little bit more work on the top, but it's really close. It opens and closes nicely. I'm pretty happy. That was a big day. You know, it's like you pour concrete, I don't know, it was 3, 4, 5 months ago, and you hope everything fits by the time you get to this point. And here we are, the last piece of the puzzle, and yep, it fit. So we got a little bit of work done around the perimeter. Got it kind of smoothed out just a tick. We've moved all the big chunks of concrete out of the way, which we might break up and use on the other side to fill in to make some space. But we've kind of gotten this just a little bit situated smoother. We brought a little bit of dirt from our pile over there and just kind of smoothed this all out just a little bit, just to kind of get us a better starting point for siding and stuff. We got the back side here smoothed out. It was all rutted from the mud from when we were stuck back here. And then we brought in a couple truckloads of gravel and situated a little bit of it down here on this side. So now we've got a little bit more level spot to get the lawnmower or maybe even the side-by-side in a little bit better. We've got a nice gravel spot here for in and out access of the door. And we got a little bit of gravel to walk on, so we don't have to put the boards down anymore. So that looks pretty good. It's all, like I said, we just spent a couple hours yesterday with the skid steer and a couple loads of gravel just to settle this place down. We got a little bit of gravel over here to get to in and out of this door a little bit better, and smoothed out this gravel and got rid of all the concrete. I think some of the concrete is underneath here. Pretty happy with that. It'll settle a little bit as we use it and as it rains or whatever, but it's all good. Well, guess who showed up today? Our electrician. Just himself and me, we kind of helped each other out. One of the things that we were deciding and we finally decided to do was we put in a sub panel here in the laundry room closet area. The main reason is if we ever rent this place out, all of the living space electricals would be able to get serviced from this panel. All the wires for most of this stuff that got pulled. My project for the weekend is routing out the foam for the outlets on this wall. Actually, the entire south wall here is going to get outlets, so I got to do a bit of routing. Electrical. I think it's still going to be 2 or 3 weeks before we can get done enough to get a inspection. But nonetheless, we've got electrical starting, so it's all good. A little bit of progress every day is all we ask for. We are here in the middle of June, and I had to hook up our Mr. Buddy this morning because it's rainy and cold and windy outside. So I'm working on my editing in here this morning while it's quiet, but it's a little chilly. I've actually put pants on. Are you kidding me? Been the electrician, the helper today, all by myself again. But I've basically got all of our outside west lights plumbed all the way over to the other end. I've also put in an outlet in our eaves for the light sensor so that they'll come on, when the dusk can turn off at dawn. So all of these west lights against the garage doors and the entry door will all be on the same circuit for those, or for that light sensor. So that was my goal today, to get that done. I also mounted all of the boxes and got all the wires through the little plastic thingies in the wall here that I cut a couple days ago. Eric, my electrician, pulled some wires and stuffed them in the slots, and I told him I'd put the boxes in and get them located and happy. I need to go to the store because I don't have any more wire, neither does he. He's out for the rest of the week. But I'll put these boxes in after I stuff some wire in there and get those done tomorrow. And then I have to do the north wall outside lights and get wires strung to them. I think we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on the west side. We're going to have 3 lights on the north side. We're only going to have 1 light over here on the east side, but then we're going to have a whole bunch of lights underneath the porch, the covered porch. So we'll have a whole bunch on the south side. Outside lights. How much outside lights do you need? That's a good question we'll have to think about. But right now I'm thinking about dinner. So that's going to be it for the day. And we'll kind of carry on with this here electrical business tomorrow. So we'll see you then.